Well, well, well. I think we're live. I think we are live. Now, interestingly, I had some trouble right before I went live with the new MacBook Pro. I'm not sure if it was the MacBook Pro's fault or it was my fault. I think maybe it was my fault, to be honest with you. Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody hear okay? This has been a crazy 24 hours, let me tell you. Let me see. I'm going to pull some of these up here. Here. Just hold on a second. Yarinen, hello, Richard from Helsinki, Finland, and congrats on the new machine. I'm about to get one soon. You are live? It's weird. Everything is weird. Can see and hear you. Everything sounds good. Does it sound good? Picture's great. Sounds good. Picture's great. Thank you very much for letting me know that. Hey, Richard, good to see you and sounds great so far. So, listen, I've been testing this all day. Right before I went to go live, I went to install something. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure if I have. Let me just check something. Huh, that's interesting. Let me see one thing here real quick. See if that worked. Backyard. No, it did not. Yeah. Nope. It did not do what I wanted it to do. So I was doing something. Let me see, back to live mode. I was doing something right before I went on. I knew I shouldn't have done it, and it was just sent me into this boot cycle over and over and over and over, literally 15 minutes of trying to reboot on this new machine. So let me see. Let me give you my picture of my. Now, I'm going to show you my desk. This is not normally what my desk looks like, but here's the Mac. Here's the MacBook. So I have it on a cloth right now so it doesn't get scratched. That's what this little blue thing is. My normal Stream Deck, my normal Apollo twin interface. This is running the stream today. You can actually see the video there. This is actually running the stream today. I just wanted to give you a glimpse of that. So far, I really like the MacBook Pro. I got the 16-inch, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 32 GPUs, whatever the heck it is, 16 core, 10 core, 20 core. I don't know what the heck that stuff is. I actually had ordered it online. And I originally ordered the 2 terabyte SSD because that's what I have in my Mac Pro. It's been working fine for, for years. But I was talking to Brad Olson last week and he ordered the 4 terabyte. So I said, I'm going to get the 4 terabyte too. That's what I said. So I went, but here's what happened. Yesterday morning I got up, and we'll play a little bit of this actually. It's so bizarre. Everything is completely switched around. On the reboot, I mean. That's what I'm talking about, on the reboot. Very, very strange. Let me just see. Nope, it's not there. Just looking for, there it is. very, very bizarre. Stream Deck, so I'm on this one, XL. And it's really strange. Everything got switched around when it was rebooting. I'm not sure exactly why. But it did. Let me just do one thing here. Video. There it is. So I got up yesterday morning and the MacBooks went on sale in the stores. Greetings from the lowlands. Picture and sound are maxed out, of course. That's bizarre. What the heck's going on here? Fixed position, no. Fly in auto. Save. Now let's see if that flies it. There we go. My 16-inch MacBook Pro coming 11/10, not that I'm counting the days. Yeah, I was counting the days, absolutely. Your image is crispy and you have a lot of depth of field. Do you have a new camera? No, I have. This is actually a real camera. It's a GH4 and I have the Sigma 18-35 lens, which gives me a lot of nice bokeh depth of field. That's what they call it. Hello, Richard. Interested here. You take mine will not arrive until December. Listen, we know they're expensive, right? That's not even, don't even talk about the expense. Apple is expensive. We know that, right? We know it's expensive. It has been for a long time. So that's not even part of the equation. Besides the expense, first off, when I picked this thing up, it was really heavy. The box was heavier, much heavier than I thought. So it's Apple reversing itself that they've done in the last 3 or 4 years. Thumbs up to Apple. They reversed themselves on the Mac Pro from the 2013 trash can to the 2019 8 PCI slot Mac Pro. Thank you. Much bigger, much beefier. They did it with the iPhone. The new iPhone 13 is thicker. It has more, the lenses are more protruding. Thank you. They did it with the MacBook Pro. It's thicker than the last one. They brought back, listen, they got rid of the HDMI port. They got rid of the MagSafe port. They got rid of the card reader in 2016. 2021, we got an HDMI port. We got a card reader. We got a MagSafe back. They're reversing themselves. They realized they were getting too thin, too skinny, too skinny, too skinny. Professionals want the beef. As I keep saying, where is the beef? That's what we're looking for. Professionals. If you want to give a skinny version, you can give that to the TikTok generation, the Instagram people, whatever, the YouTubers. Professionals want beef. We want big, beefy hardware. December 10th, 16th for my MacBook Pro Max, 64 gigabyte, 2 terabyte. So I got the 64 gigabyte, absolutely, but I got the 4 terabyte. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did. Let me show you why. This is the speed of my MacBook Pro. 7,200 megabytes per second, megabits, whatever the heck it is, and almost 6,000. I couldn't believe it. That's how fast it is. Now, I think it's a new standard. I think there's a new standard, PCIe standard, whatever. Anyway, that's why I'm glad I got the 4 terabyte. So when I had the 2 terabyte, Thinking about getting the 14-inch MacBook Pro. I like to travel with my 13. Absolutely. The 16 seems bulky for this case. What's your opinion on this? I'm used to a big screen. Look at this screen. Turn on live demo mode. Let me just turn this. Hold on a second. This is my screen that I have attached to my MacBook Pro right now. You can see everything, okay? I'm used to a lot of real estate. So the 16 is like the minimum for me. When I'm on the road, yeah, I can get by with the 16. But for me, I'm used to a desktop and I'm used to a lot of real estate. This is a 32 or 34 inch 21:9 LG monitor. And this is what I'm used to dealing with. And that's not all I have. But that's certainly what I am used to. So let me just see something here. Why did it say it's ended? It's not, it shouldn't be ended. No, it's not ended. Why did it say that? That's bizarre. Learn more. So maybe you're not getting me on Facebook anymore for some odd reason. I don't know for a fact, but it's still on YouTube, right? Let me just check here. Yeah, it's still on YouTube. So this always confused me. Megabytes has the capital B, right? That's what I think. Megabits has the small b. So capital M, capital B / S, megabytes, right? Hello, and if and when can we expect the next M1 Max? I would say in 2 years. 2 years, maybe 3. Typically the MacBook Pro, the last one came out in 2019, and now it's 2021. Now there is an Intel to Apple Silicon switch there. Is anybody hearing on Facebook? Facebook got cut off? Well, whatever. No, it's still there. Okay, Facebook's still there. So I would say the next MacBook Pro, 2 years probably. Look, they're busy. They got to get us a new Mac Pro. Apple's busy. They got to get us a new Mac Pro. I'll be curious to what that is. I might trade my current one in on the new one. We'll have to see what's going on with that. Glenn Clark says, yes, I can hear you, see you as well. It's on Facebook. Oh, there's my friend Bob. Bob, the guitar player from the Hills. That's good. Because it kept saying it was done. Eric Emmerich says, new computer, new OS, new version of eCam, issues will arise. That's exactly what happened. So I started Monday or Sunday with Monterey on my Mac Pro. I made a third partition. I have Catalina, I have Big Sur, and now I have Monterey on my Mac Pro. And I downloaded it specifically to use that new feature in Final Cut Pro 10.6, where you can do the adjustment of the cinematic mode on the iPhone 13 footage. Let me tell you something. I was wrong about that. The working with that footage in Final Cut Pro 10.6 on Monterey is much more sophisticated than just a single slider like you have in iMovie, as far as I know. So it has 3 or 4 or 5 controls, different controls. It's not just fading, blurring the background. You can choose focus points, different focus points. You can do them. I don't know how they do that, but they do it. So yeah, new computer that I've been using pretty much nonstop, except when I was sleeping last night since yesterday. New OS, brand new Monterey. I had to download so many things. For example, this thing requires special drivers, this is my U-Audio interface, requires special drivers that you have to go in and reboot the computer and give it permission to install kernel extensions. And you have to reboot. And then you have to reboot. And then you have to reboot. So that took a while. Capital B is bytes indeed. Yes, 1 byte is 8 bits. Yes. So 16-inch, if you need the screen real estate. If you're used to the screen real estate, yes. Because the 16 inches is actually shrinking my normal screen. My normal screen is 34 inches. So I have to do things in that. And I got to use the trackpad. Now, if you notice, once again, look what I have here. This is my keyboard from my Mac Pro because I want these number keys. I don't like going to the top up here, reaching all the way across to get to numbers. There they are. I like the number keys right over here. So I use this. I'm using this. I stole it from my Mac Pro. I'm using it with my MacBook Pro, and I'm using, look, what else I'm using? I'm using a mouse. It's not that I can't use the trackpad, because I certainly can, but I'm faster with the larger keyboard and a mouse. I'm just faster. If I don't have it, I certainly can use this. I use it all the time on a train or a plane or something. So far, I'm very impressed with it, other than I don't know if it's Monterey. You got to install these kernel. You got to go into a boot mode. You got to give it permission to install these kernels, and you got to reboot. Anyway, I got it all sorted out. Thank you. So I have UA error. Thanks for the heads up. So if you're on Monterey, or if it's the MacBook Pro, I'm not sure which, combination of the two, it's weird. You have to shut the machine down, push and hold the button. By the way, I really like, you can't see it, but there's actually a log in with your thumb, with your fingerprint. So a lot of the software will install with just that. I really, really like that because I use it all the time. So what do we have there? Richard, this is Tangier's dad. I will be getting the 14-inch MacBook Pro. Well, hopefully in December. Wanted to see what your review was going to be. Well, I'm not going to be reviewing tech specs, because there's tons of people that are doing comparison, Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere, speed, export, all that kind of stuff. I leave that to them. That's fine. If I notice something specific, I will bring it to your attention, as I always do. I'm more kind of behind the scenes kind of thing. And I love this thing. I've been waiting since 2019, because I had the 15-inch 2019. I bought it in the summer before the 16 came out. So I bought it, no, I'm sorry, the 2019. 2019, I bought it in the summer or spring before the 16 came out later that year. So I had the little bit smaller one with not quite all the cool features. So do I get this right? The SSDs below the 4 terabyte are slower. I don't know if they are, but they were on the Mac Pro. On the Mac Pro, when it came out in 2019, if you got the 256 or the 512, they weren't as fast as the 1 terabyte and the 2 terabyte. Well, you know what it is? I think the 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte are RAID zeros. They put 2 drives in a RAID 0, and that's why they were faster. I get about 2,800 to 3,000 megabytes a second with my Mac Pro, but I'm double that with this new MacBook Pro, and I think the 1 terabyte is probably fast. I don't think that should be a problem. I'm just saying I didn't want to take a chance And besides, I'm glad I did, because look, when I was getting the 2 terabyte, I was going on Amazon and looking for I'm not sure why these aren't removing. They should be removing automatically. I was going on Amazon and looking for a Thunderbolt 3 enclosure. As a matter of fact, see, I have this. This is a little Thunderbolt, a real Thunderbolt SSD, NVMe SSD with the Thunderbolt cable. So this is Thunderbolt 3. So this is very, very fast. It got to 2,000, over 2,000, 2,200, 2,300. Much faster than USB-C drives are. Much, much faster. So I went on Amazon to try to find, this is a 2 terabyte. I went on Amazon to try to find more of these. I bought that one when I was with my Mac Pro. I was going on Amazon to try to find more of those, and lo and behold, they're expensive. The drive, the 2 terabyte drive, is $300 or $400, and then the enclosure is another $100, $150, and then the cable and stuff. So I was still up in the neighborhood of $400 to $500 to get an external one, SSD, 2 terabyte. So I spent $600 more to get the 4 terabyte on my MacBook Pro. I don't need the external one anymore. When I go to NAB or I go to the Creative Summit, which we're going to talk about here shortly, I always want to back up my footage. Well, I'll back it up in my iPhone, because my iPhone's got a 1 terabyte drive now. I won't erase the footage from my iPhone. I'll leave it on there. I won't get anywhere near a terabyte. And then I'll also import it into my MacBook, so I have it there. Max Ivy says, is it thicker than 2019 MacBook Pro? It absolutely is thicker. Let me just do something here. Account, general, audio, general. Here we go. This is what I don't have checked. So is it thicker? Yes. It's thicker by the thickness of the lid, if I'm not mistaken. People have shown them side by sides. And it's thicker by the thickness of the lid. Yeah, Gert says the new MacBook is 1 screen thicker. So if you hold the old MacBook up and the new MacBook is thicker by the thickness of the screen. There we go. I didn't have, I don't know what the heck's going on, but I set all these preferences up, and then I had this problem. I was in a reboot cycle. It was rebooting and rebooting over and over and over again. I couldn't get it to go. Rob, I'm with you on the 14-inch. Listen, if I was on a train all the time and I was doing all kinds of stuff, I would have a 14-inch. Absolutely. But I don't travel that much, so the 16-inch is something I can deal with as far as working with Final Cut. Final Cut, Logic Pro are my main 2 apps, but I also do some other things, web design and stuff like that, and I like the extra real estate. Me personally, I certainly think the 14 is fantastic. I would get a 14 versus the 13. I hate to bring up Adobe, but should we expect speed boost in the M1 Max and After Effects, for example? Sure. When Adobe gets off their butts and optimizes the new MacBook Pro, sure, absolutely we should expect speed boost. Look what Blackmagic did, right? Blackmagic did major, up to 5 times faster, I think they said. Let me just show you this real quick. This is, this is my trip yesterday. Nice little surprise this morning. I'm going to pick up my new M1 MacBook Pro from the Apple Store in Columbia, Maryland, rather than waiting for 3 to 4 more weeks for it to be delivered. 4 terabyte SSD this time. It's expensive, but I opted for that rather than the 2 terabyte that I ordered online. So I placed my order and checked, and they said it's available for pickup. Leaves are holding on to their green color a lot longer than I expected. It's almost November and they're still pretty green. They haven't changed to their normal fall colors. Orange and yellow, browns. Besides all the excitement about just getting a new MacBook Pro, there's a couple of other things that I'm excited about. Number one is I'm excited about getting a 1080p camera. After all these years of dealing with 720p quality, I'm going to get a nice new modern 1080p camera. I think they said they reworked the microphone system as well. And it's got the 140 watt fast charging system now. You can charge 50% of the battery life in 30 minutes if you ever need it. So those are some things that I'm excited about the 1080p camera. One of the things that I said I was not going to do was buy a MacBook Pro. The word Pro is in the word title. MacBook Pro with a 720p camera. That's all they've had up to this point. I don't know if the M1s that came out last year, I don't know if they've come out with better. The iMac Pro had a 1080p camera a 3 years ago when that came out. But the rest of them, 720p. Come on, that's 2003 camera resolution or whatever. So they redid the camera and gave us a 1080p camera. The other thing I asked the last time we were on is why a 140 watt charger? I thought the charger would go down with more efficient silicone chips versus the Intel chips, which require more power. And you, the audience, said it's because of fast charging. Fast charging. You can charge the MacBook Pro 50% of its battery in 30 minutes. If your battery's drained and you have to go somewhere, you plug it in for 30 minutes, you get a 50% battery charge. That's why it's 140 watts. It's for fast charging. Yes, the number keys are great on the right side of the keyboard. Absolutely. I'm so used to, well, here's what else. This is the way I edit. Okay, J, K, and L, if you can see, J, K, and L under my left hand, my mouse under my right hand. This is how I edit all the time. So J, K, and L, J, K, and L, J, K, and L, and I have zoom in and zoom out there next to it. I have deselect right over here on the D key. These are the ones I use all the time. So when I do it over here, it's much more awkward. First off, I'm always on the trackpad. So if I don't have a mouse, then I have to do something like this. So I'm used to J, K, and L-ing on the bigger keyboard. Plus, I have my keyboard mapped to do certain things. Like I have the 0 key. This key, when I first press it, it goes into time code mode. It starts accepting time code when I press the 0. And if I press it again, it'll enter a 0. So I have customized everything on my Final Cut Pro and Logic and my Mac Pro keyboards and stuff. One thing you want to do, export your customized keyboard from Logic and Final Cut Pro, put it in the cloud, put it on a drive. That's one of the many things you're going to need as you transition over to a new Mac Pro and a new operating system. Look, I didn't even update the Big Sur. I was on my Mac Pro is on Catalina as my main operating system. Nice system. How do you like the most recent update? You mean Final Cut Pro recent update? There's problems. There's bugs as to be expected with Final Cut Pro, right? That's not an issue. Let me just pull this up I'll pull this up, fcpx.tv. Okay, so let me see. Can I do that? Videos. I cannot. Look at that. That's really bizarre. Everything got switched around. I can't believe it. Run scene. Let's do this. Do. Web page. Let's see if this works. Let me put that back. I think it'll work. Let's try it. Yeah, there we go. So one of the things that I like about this setup that I have, so the MacBook is below my other screen, which is up here. The MacBook's below. I like having this screen down here and the main screen above it. I used to have a screen to the side. Not used to. I still have a screen to the side, but I like having this screen down here for this simple reason. I can bring up a web page very, very easy now without looking over to the left or to the right. So here's M1 Pro and M1 Pro and Max MacBook Pro reviews, a bunch of reviews. There's all kinds of reviews here. And here's, we got these bug reports from Chris Hawking. Motion templates can render indifferent in 10.6, etc. XML issues, AC3 encoded audio issues. Undo shortcut is broken if FCP is in Spanish. So FCPX.tv. You can also get a trial. You can try Final Cut Pro free for 90 days. And if you want to contact the Final Cut Pro team, you just click on that link right there and you can get the Final Cut Pro team. But anyway, so M1 Pro, Max reviews, all these reviews. And then here's Final Cut Pro 10.6, all the articles there, et cetera, et cetera. So I really like having the MacBook Pro screen down below my main screen. I just really, really like it. Now, let me just pull up one more thing. Pull that up. This is our good friends, the FCP Global Summit. It's coming up in less than 2 weeks, right? Less than 2 weeks it's coming up. So they have the schedule up. Push that back there. They have the schedule up. And don't forget Apple Day. This one, Apple Day, November the 12th, live from Apple Park, is not going to be recorded. It's not going to be recorded. Okay? And we will, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Top chat. And where did I go? Global Summit. There's what I want. Web page. Global Summit. Let me put that back there. Do you hear the fans during? I haven't heard the fans whatsoever. I haven't heard the fans go up whatsoever. Looks like some of the raffles will be for premium attendees only. That's true. Can I show you the activity monitor? Activity monitor, activity monitor. Yeah, let me pull that up. Here we go. I think this will show. Yeah, there it is. This is the activity monitor. So I guess Ecamm Live, I'm on the beta version. CPU is 58%, UA Mixer Ender, Stream Deck, activity monitor. It's not CPU load. Percent of CPU. GPU. GPU's not being used that much. So Ecamm Live is the biggest, but I would expect that, wouldn't I? Think I would expect that. But the fans, I can't hear the fans, to be honest with you. The fans are not running. I haven't heard them not one time. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not stress testing this other than, I'm not stress testing this other than, unless you consider this stress testing it. I mean, I have all this stuff running. I do have a lot of things running, but I'm not really stress testing. Other people have done it. They've launched Photoshop and Final Cut, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this is the biggest, fastest CPU, GPU, Apple Silicon to date. Will it be the fastest forever? Of course not. Of course not. This is really doing really good for me so far. And it's portable. I can take it to the Creative Summit if I'm doing streaming there. I can take it to NAB next April if they go there. But I'm excited about it. Personally, I really like it. So let's go back to our Final Cut Pro FCP Summit here. So Apple Day, we'll see what happens there. $399. Huh. Let me see what the upgrade to VIP is. I thought it was $199. Create a new account. Don't want to do that. I thought it was $199, $149, and then $199. But in any event, so we have the program has been filled out finally. Sign up to attend. It's free. All right? It's free. The basic sign up is free. If you want to get a VIP pass, you can get that. Speaking of the VIP pass, I have 1 or 2 of those to give away, but I'm not going to do that until the week before the summit. So not this week, next week I'll do that. I'll be giving away a free 1 or 2, I forget how many I have, VIP passes. I will make the announcement. Don't forget to sign up to good old, there it is, youtube.com, Richard Taylor TV. If you follow along up there, you'll be notified whenever we go live. It was strange. Anyway, let's just go through this real quick. We don't have to go through everything, but you can go there. And so they have different, the first day, Monday, is just a single track. Mark Spencer, Abba Shapiro, Chris Fenwick, Justine, panel. That's at 2 p.m. Instructor. Track, Final Cut Pro Mindset for the track-based editor, Mike Matzdorf, daily opening. Then we go to 2 tracks. This is where the VIP pass comes in. You can't watch both of these at the same time. These 2 tracks. You can't watch them. I mean, if you had 2 computers, I guess you could. But you really can't watch 2 tracks at the same time. With a VIP pass, what are you doing during the 4-hour break? I'm taking a nap. If with the VIP pass, you can go back and rewatch the ones that you missed. 4-hour break in the middle of the day. I guess that's for international. Apple Day. Daily opening, 11:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight. OWC Video Solutions Demo. Ronnie Cortins is going to be there. My friend Ronnie. Look at that. Gergana. Josh Minnie. Who was that? Future Focused panel. So let's hope Apple-centric. Where is the Apple? Where is the Apple event? Daily opening. Oh, well, that's weird. Where is this? Where is the Global Summit? I didn't see that listed there. Apple Day, November 12th, live from Apple Park. So I'm sure that's going to be there, but I didn't see it there. Oh, I'm still in demo mode. Sorry. You know what happens is thanks, Rob. What happens is I hit the demo mode button, but if I don't have eCam forward, it doesn't work. I have to pay attention. They have the red outline around it. So thanks for telling me. I looked at that and I saw indeed I was. So any more questions about this bad boy? I'm very pleased with it so far. The battery seems to last forever. So far, I got it working with everything. I Stream Deck with my Apollo Twin. I absolutely need it, although one of my plugins that I use is not compatible with M1 yet. It doesn't work. It crashes. So all right, let's go. You were kind of low on battery. This is the Columbia Mall, Maryland. That's where I got it. Here we are, Columbia Mall, Columbia, Maryland. I was here when this store first opened. I actually filmed that with a little handheld, I think it was a mini DV camera. Yeah, it was mini DV. This is close enough. This is the mall itself. They had some construction going on outside there. There it is, Apple Store, Columbia. I'm a little bit early. I'll probably hang out. There it is. This thing is really heavy. I'm really surprised at how heavy it is. So what do I have plugged in on the right side of the MacBook Pro? This is a Stream Deck. It's a multi-button configurable control. I can switch scenes, switch cameras, switch graphics. You can also use this with Final Cut Pro. And you can use it with the Finder, and you can use it with Safari. It's all programmable. Eric Emmerich says, geez, I wish my Apple store was that sparsely attended, always a madhouse in Orlando. So there's a couple of things. I was not expecting to get a MacBook Pro yesterday when I woke up. Furthest thing from my mind. Mine was coming in 3 weeks, right before Thanksgiving. That's when it was scheduled. However, I kept going back to the Apple page, going through all the specs, and waiting for it to say store pickup available. And 10 o'clock or so, or 9:30 or 9 o'clock, I did my specs, including changing to the 4 terabyte drive from the 2 terabyte. I'm really glad I did that. I am really glad. Yes, it's expensive, but I'm so glad I did that. It came up. It said available in Columbia, Maryland. I'm going, this is a special order one. This is a special order. This is not a stock MacBook Pro. And you mean to tell me you have the space gray, you have the 64 terabyte, you have the 4 terabyte drive in stock? And they did. They had it in stock. I bought it, clicked buy now, pick up in Columbia, Maryland at 10:45. And then I canceled. Listen, I didn't cancel until I had that thing in my hand. Once I had it in my hand and came home, then I canceled. I didn't want to cancel prematurely and have something go wrong at the Apple store. So that was that. So Rob says, I mean in the Thunderbolt port on the right side. This right here, this is a cam link. I don't want to move it. That goes up to my GH4 camera. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a cam link with an extension cord. They had 64 gigabyte, 4 terabyte. Did I say 64 terabyte? No, they didn't have 64 terabyte. That would be like $50,000. 64 gigabyte RAM, unified RAM, and a 4 terabyte SSD drive. Because when I ordered the original one online, I don't want to spend $600, but I'm glad I did. Brad said he got the 4 terabyte, and it got me thinking, I want to get the 4 terabyte now. And I'm glad. So, plus, listen, it was available in a local Apple store. Now, the one you saw, the Apple store in Columbia, it's not, I've never seen a Mac Pro in there. It's not really a professional level. It's more consumer, iPhones, iPads, whatever. So I was shocked that they had the 4 terabyte, 64 gigabyte unified RAM version in stock, M1 Max, and Space Gray. I was completely shocked. So did they reserve it for you? I paid for it online. They charged my card immediately. So they better had reserved it for me. No, they absolutely did. They didn't reserve it. I paid for it. I bought it. When I went up there, I just showed them, I scanned my QR code. They went in the back, brought it out, double-checked things, looked at my ID. In 5 minutes, I had it in my hand. There was no waiting, no nothing. I could not, listen, yesterday morning when I woke up and I said, am I going to get a MacBook Pro today? or am I going to get it in 3 weeks? And I got it. And I'm the kind of person that says, okay, I'm not going to really get too excited about it till I have it in my hands. Well, I had it in my hands. I got it from the Apple store that morning, the exact one that I wanted. The exact one that I wanted. Here's the unboxing. What's going to be curious is if I can fit this on my existing desk. And there you have it. That was my adventure yesterday. When I woke up in the morning, I had no idea I was going to be getting a MacBook Pro. I love this thing so far. Love it. So Eric says, just checked. Unavailable. Have to wait till it ships. Eric, I would keep checking. If you want to get it early, keep checking that your local Apple store. I'll go online and see if it becomes available, because the fact that Apple had these higher end ones available at Columbia, Maryland. Columbia, Maryland's not many professionals go there. Like I said, I've never seen a Mac Pro there. I have never seen a Mac Pro out in the Apple store. I don't know if they don't have them out for whatever reason, but I've never seen one. I am happy with you. How awesome that it worked out here. Still takes 6 weeks. Nice. Is that the 16-inch? Yes, 16-inch. I could not, personally, I can't get by on a 14-inch or a 13-inch. I need, the 16 is the bare minimum. I mean, when I'm traveling, I love it. Listen, go to the Creative Summit. I go to NAB. Everybody goes out. A lot of people go out. They party, they drink, they go to bars. I'm not a drinker, so I don't do that. I have dinner with people. When we go to the Creative Summit, Greg Clark and Philip Hodgetts and Serena and Brad Olson and I usually go out to get a dinner. Last time it was an Italian restaurant. I think the last 2 times, which was 2019 and 2018, we went to a nice Italian restaurant. We sit down and have a nice meal. But I usually go at night, go up to the motel room, collect video clips that I've done for the day, put them together, spit them out, and I do a live stream from my hotel room. This is what I need. This is why I want the MacBook Pro. This is exactly the reason. So I'll be excited if we indeed go again next year. Right now, NAB is the end of April. It's 5 months, 4.5 months away. We'll see what happens at that point. If that becomes a thing again, a real thing, that'd be fine. I'm dying to get back out in person again. The Creative Summit's my favorite. NAB's my second favorite, so we'll see how that goes. Look, don't forget. Look at this speed. This is my speed of my SSDs in my MacBook Pro. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. So anyway, that's the adventures of me getting my MacBook yesterday. I've only had it for less than 24 hours. You know, it's a beautiful machine. It's got HDMI out. It's got 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports. They're not Thunderbolt 3 ports. This is the first Mac in the history of Macintoshes with true Thunderbolt 4 ports. And I'm pleasantly surprised that they're Thunderbolt 4, not Thunderbolt 3. That's fabulous. Congratulations. You enjoyed the pre-boxing video on the way to purchase. I saw that some functions in OS X10 are not supported on Intel machines. I wonder what happens when Apple has switched to M1 series completely. Well, we know that's coming. We know that's coming. We have 2 years from this fall to have a supported, to be running the OS on Intel machines as well as the M1s. Everybody expects things on the Apple Silicon that aren't available on Intel, but Intel will probably keep fairly good. You know, it'll probably keep like 80%, 85% of the features of the Apple Silicon. I would imagine Final Cut would be the same. So, for example, if you get Monterey, you can edit the cinematic mode on the iPhone 13 videos on Intel. You don't need an M1 for that. Backup to an SD card. I don't know how fast that's going to be compared to, yeah, that's pretty cool though. I guess that's true. So I won't need an external drive when I go to NAB or to Creative Summit. I got a 4 terabyte drive in this bad boy, and I got 1 terabyte of storage space on my iPhone. So between those two, when I film on my iPhone, I will not erase it until I get home. And I'll back it up to my 4 terabyte space on here. So I won't need to bring any external hard drives. Now that I got the 4 terabyte and 1 terabyte, I won't fill up 1 terabyte of space. I mean, I'm not going to be shooting ProRes. As important as everybody is, I'm not shooting on ProRes when I do these events. I'm going to stick with H.264, H.265. But in any way, the cinematic mode in Final Cut Pro 10.6 on Monterey is pretty darn cool. It's not just a single slider. There's 4 or 5 different things you can do. It has a cinematic editor in the timelines. It has a slider for blur effect in the inspector, but it also has on-screen effects in the viewer. If you click on cinematic, it has on-screen effects where you can lock a focus. You can refocus in the viewer. That's independent of the blur effect in the inspector. I think you can even keyframe the focus points. I started wondering when they will switch off the Final Cut Pro development for Intel machines. My MacBook Pro is 16 from 2019. Yeah, I think you're fine for a couple of years, to be honest with you, Garrett. I think you're fine. The majority of people are still on Intel that are running Final Cut Pro. The majority of people are still on Intel, and they probably will be for years. As Apple Silicon starts creeping in, the user base will change, and maybe eventually, I would expect in 2 years it might be 50-50, but they still have to support people on Intel. That's all there is to it. I've been saying that from the very beginning. I'm saving up. My friend Torgrim, who I met at the Creative Summit, I'm saving up. Am I crazy to go for the 4 terabyte? No, I got the 4 terabyte. Why would you think you're crazy? You're saying I'm crazy if you're getting the 4 terabyte? The 8 terabyte, yes, you're crazy. That's $1,200 more or something like that. Not that if I had the money, I would get it, but The 4 terabytes fine for me for the time being. I may just have to go down my local Apple store instead of waiting. We'll go online and see if I can do the same thing. Absolutely. So I went online yesterday morning. I knew they were coming into Apple stores yesterday. And I kept doing my configuration. When I got to the bottom, it said unavailable at Apple stores, unavailable at Apple stores, unavailable at Apple stores. And then about 9 o'clock, I did it, and it said available to pick up today at Columbia Apple Store. I said, this has got to be a mistake. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Switched. I checked out, paid for it with my Apple card. You get 3% back in the U.S. if you buy it on your Apple card. So yes, it's expensive, but I get $150 back. And it said available for pickup. Then you choose the time you want to pick it up. I chose 10:45. Got there about 10:30. There wasn't any line. One other guy was there getting his MacBook Pro when I was there, but it had the high-end one, 64 gigabytes, 4 terabyte drive. It had it in the space gray. I ordered the 4 terabyte, had the 8 terabyte in i9 previously. Money, 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 to quote my fellow Scandinavians, ABBA. Yes, they're not cheap, but this one I expect to last 2 to 3 years. You know, I don't need anything. This might take the place of my Mac Pro. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if that actually happens. I'm not sure what I'll do with the Mac Pro, whether I'll trade it in on the new Apple Silicon Mac Pro. I might do that, or I'll move it downstairs to the studio. I also rely on plugins from Motion VFX, and they are still rebuilding theirs to Apple Silicon. I'm waiting for that, absolutely. Switch in 2022 or 2023 to M. We'll see you then. Yes. My problem is these plugins, audio plugins. For this unit, I have a Waves Mercury bundle that is a little iffy with Apple Silicon right now in Monterey. So going forward for me, audio plugins, I got everything working. I am pleasantly surprised. I didn't know if I was going to be able to stream live with my new MacBook Pro. Ta-da! It's done. Everything that I need, I got working. Now, there was hoops to go through, I'm telling you. It's not a matter of just downloading the app and plugging it in. Ecamm wasn't too bad, but there's things that plug into Ecamm that I had to update. The Stream Deck plugin, let me show you. So let me show you this. Graphics, video, web page. This is my audio. This is my audio. Is this even working? Yeah, it's working, right? I'm surprised. Wait a minute. What the heck's going on here? Why is there no audio showing? That's interesting. Huh. That's weird that it's not showing any audio going through here. This is the quirks that I'm talking about. So I'm still getting audio, but it's not going through my plugins. That is really, really bizarre. Well, anyway, this is what I normally have going. Oh, you know what? I'm going to try one thing. I'm going to switch over to the microphone on the MacBook Pro. I want to switch over to the microphone on the MacBook Pro. They talked about how they improved it. I know it's not as good as this, but let me just try it. Okay, this is the MacBook Pro microphone now that I'm talking on. How does it sound? I'm sure it sounds a little different than my studio setup, but I just wanted to try it because there'd be times like if I'm in the airport and I'm not going to be able to hook up an external microphone, this is what I'll sound like. How does it sound compared to the other one? I know it doesn't sound as good, but is it passable? They said they improved it, right? They improved the microphone. They're saying studio quality. I don't know if it's studio quality or not. Much lower. Let me turn it up a little bit. Much lower. Let me see if much lower. Huh. Let me turn it up in. Let me turn it up. Sound. Selected output. 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 Oh, I can turn it up here. How about now? Now it's louder, right? Now I turned it up, and that should be louder now, right? Needs more gain. The level is much lower. Okay, so there I turned it up as high as it can go in system preferences. Yeah, I know it's not good, but I was wondering if it's not. Is it? You know, I never use my MacBook Pro microphone intentionally. Never, never, never. But anyway, I turned it up in system preferences. It was right in the middle. I turned it up max all the way. Just curious. I'll listen back. I'll listen back on the stream and see how it's going. I'm curious about this other thing, though. Let me go back to my studio microphone. All right, here is my, let me just check something here. Check, check. Yeah, it's doing it right. So it's weird that my plugins are not registering. It's really bizarre. Is everything okay? Well, you guys can hear me, so that's not the issue. Check 1, check 2. Very strange. Preamp. Huh. I don't know what's going on, but you guys can hear me okay. This is my back to my studio. Needs more gain. That's my MacBook. But with some compressor and EQ would work. Yeah, but I don't have that available on that one. Much better. I turned it up. Passable now. There you go. Better, but still lower than before. Sounds clear. I think if you would tell, the majority won't notice. That's what I think too. But even when I'm working with my MacBook, I have a new microphone. This plugs in via USB-C to the MacBook, and it has its own app. It has a limiter to prevent distortion, and it's my favorite microphone. It's the, what one is it? The Elgato Wave 3. Brand new, well, new within the last year. It has an application. You can adjust things, and you can choose the application as your audio source. But that's what I'll be bringing when I use the MacBook without my studio setup. I won't bring my studio setup, obviously. I'm not going to bring this. I have a smaller one of these, a 6 or 9 panel one that I'll bring, but I won't be bringing this and all the plugins and stuff. So I'll be using that microphone when I'm streaming live at NAB or the Creative Summit from my hotel room. Audio plugins are notoriously late to the party, absolutely. Plugins, check input and audio MIDI devices. I'll have to do that. All right, do we have any other questions for today? I think we're doing okay. Let me see. Don't forget, it's weird. It keeps saying it's having trouble playing the video, but then I go down there and it's live. Let me hear it. I'll have to do that. It keeps saying it's having trouble playing the video, but then I go down there and it's live. Yeah, it sounds fine. It sounds fine. Everything sounds fine. So it's weird that my plugins weren't registering when I had the software up, but it's working. It's going through. It must be, I don't know what was going on right before I went live. Not a surprise. Don't forget, youtube.com Richard Taylor TV. That's where you want to go. That is where you want to go. Go over there and subscribe and click notify, be notified. That's the best place. That is the best place. My name's Richard Taylor. How is the screen? How is the screen as far as what? I don't do color correction and stuff. Daniel Suzuki says, missed the whole show. Hope you're loving your new MacBook Pro, Richard. I certainly am. So, Daniel, you can watch it on YouTube, watch it on Facebook, of course. It's available after the fact. Have you tried HDR with the new display? Doesn't the iPhone 13, I think it natively films on HDR? I think it does, because every time I bring clips in now, I have to switch it over or add the plugin. I'm a little confused with that stuff, to be honest with you. Have a nice maxed out evening, absolutely. So what do you call this now? M1 Max MacBook Pro. M1 Max MacBook Pro. When people were talking about the new M1 chip, the M1X chip coming for the MacBook Pro, who predicted they were going to have two versions of it, the Pro version and the Max version? Except maybe like right before a day or two, they were saying it's going to be called the Pro or it's going to be called the Max, or the Pro, the Max, but both, having both, two different versions of the chip. So you have the M1, you have the M1 Pro, and now you have the M1 Max, which is what I have here. Virtually all my Macs, though expensive, have lasted a very, very long time. Absolutely. Color, contrast, etc. I don't know exactly what the HDR capabilities of the screen are. I'm not something not really technical that I probably just will wait for somebody else to do it and I'll follow up. For unified memory, 16 is not enough. Why 64? I have 100. I know unified memory is different. I have 112 gigabytes of RAM on my Mac Pro. Why? I don't want to get the minimum. Apple put 64 gigabytes in there for a reason. They didn't put it there for people that they're never going to use it, right? It was $400 more. 32 to 64 is like $400. Come on. 16 is not enough. Not for me. If it's good enough for what you do, that's fine. It's not for me. I want the max that Apple gives us. They gave it 64 gigabytes for a reason. I was thinking 32 was going to be the max, and they jumped to 64. So the fans, all the stuff that I'm running, the fans are not, they're not even on. They are not even on. All right, so I think we're good. That's Facebook. Let me go over here to YouTube. 10 watching now. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So I had a little hiccup at the beginning. Combination, my fault, new operating system, new MacBook. I tried to update something and it just went into this endless cycle over, boot, over. But we got it. We have it good. So I'm excited. I mean, if you have the money, Rob Fisher says between 16 and 64 are 920 euros over there. So I thought the 32 So 16 isn't available for the M1 Max, is it? I thought it was 32. Maybe it was. Okay. No, from the 32 to 64, I was going to get 32, period. And then between 32 and 64 was only $400 difference. From the 16 is probably the same, but I don't want the 16. I don't want to get the bare minimum. I just not what I do when I get Max. I got the 1 terabyte iPhone 13 for the same reason. With all these processors inside, you need 32 megabytes memory, gigabytes, minimal. 1 Pro, they all share the same memory, so no copying needed. I don't know the technicalities of that. I just know that if Apple offers 64 gigabytes, I want a 64 gigabytes. So if in the future I need them or something heavy is going on. So like I said, I have not heard the fans kick on this thing or not. It's not even warm. It's not even the least bit warm right now. It's cool to the touch, the aluminum chassis. So whatever Apple's doing, they're doing a great job. All right. I think we are good to go for today. If you have any more questions, shout them out now. I will try to get back on here for Final Cut Friday. We'll see. I got some other things going on. I got a concert going on over here on Saturday that I'll be live streaming. I have a band come over. They play in the garage, which is outside. People are out in the parking area. I like doing those. They're fun. I can't go out to see the bands going into the clubs, so I invite the bands over here. We set them up. We do a sound check. We stream them live. We invite some neighbors over. Everybody's outside. Everybody's socially distanced. The band is in a garage, but the garage is open, so they're virtually just like being outside. We have a stage set up and everything. So that's what's going on with that. It's happening Saturday if there's not, the weather's conducive. So Saturday is a group called Go Dog Go, 4 o'clock. They're really, really good. These are all original bands. These bands are original music. I don't, do cover bands. So this is Hucklebuck was the band that I had over the last time.
Middle-class man will work these dreams with my hands. My checks have paycheck like a rubber band. I'm a middle-class man will lift these sleeves like a man. Watch them boys make money shaking hands. I build electric guitars.
So I have a band come over. We do a sound check. We do a setup. I have 3 cameras. I have the main camera in the front, and I have 2 side cameras, and I switch them live. And this time I have a mixing board, so I have everybody is mic'd up, and I send that feed into the main camera, and that's the main audio source I use. I have this really cool mixer that I got. It's like, it takes 20 channels, 16 of XLR and 4 of 1/4-inch stereo. And you can do 7 different mixes on that thing. And you can go to each one and do 7 separate mixes. It's very, very cool. I'm not sure what it's not bad, actually pretty good, but can tell the difference when comparing. I'm not sure what you mean there, Greg. Say hi to your son for us. I think we're gonna head out of here. Do you have any other questions? Please shout them out now before we head out. Now we should be on. I'm pretty sure we are on. Let me see. I think we should be on Twitter as well. Tweet. Let me just check and see if we are. So let me delete that. Yep, we're on Twitter too. So we go on Twitter, Twitch TV, YouTube, Facebook all at the same time. Now I have no followers on Twitch TV because I'm not a gamer. I don't think I've ever played a single game on a Macintosh. It's not, I'm more interested in video production and doing stuff. But we're over there on Twitter. They have a news section. Well, it used to be Periscope. Now it's just a regular section. So we're over there as well. All right. We're going to get out of here today. I don't know why I keep saying that. Facebook keeps saying it's having problems playing the video, but then I go there, it's there. I'm going to get out of here today. I don't know why I keep saying that. Facebook keeps saying it's having problems playing the video, but then I go there, it's there. So I don't know. I don't know why I keep saying it's not there, but it is there. And I'm going to see if I come back for Final Cut Friday. We'll have to wait and see. Do that as much as I can. But anyway, go over there to the FCPX Creative Summit and sign up for free. Don't forget. All right. Thanks, Richard. Nice to stay in touch with everybody worldwide. Absolutely worldwide, what it's about. You keep us together. Thank you very much. That's what I try to do. I try to keep everybody, this is a voice that we can speak to Apple on. Apple listens to this podcast. The Final Cut Pro team does. We love those guys and gals. We love that they do a great job for the most part. We need to get more features incorporated, and I have a feeling, once again, the eternal Final Cut Pro optimist, I have a feeling that they will come forthcoming, right? That's what we're hoping. All right, everyone. I'm hungry. I'm going to go get some dinner, and we'll try to do Final Cut Friday again. I think we'll be okay, and I'm going to do the same setup. I'll be using this setup from now on. Hopefully, nothing breaks. All right? Talk to everybody later. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.